Hey everyone, I'm Brad from Brad Builds, and I have something very exciting to share with you guys in this episode. If you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, you might have seen me hinting at it for the past few weeks, but I got a new car. And without further ado, let me introduce you to my Subaru WRX. I hope you guys liked that. That was all thanks to my girlfriend. My editing skills would have made that look like trash. So I know you're all probably wondering either two things. One, why did you get a total WRX? Or two, how much did you pay for it? And I think the second question is much more important because I got a 2013 Subaru WRX with 94,000 miles for $4,800. And I'll show you my bill of sales proof. Now back to that first question, why did I get a total WRX? Well, my lease is ending soon and I need a new daily driver. And I've always had a bit of a crush on the Stankai WRX hatchbacks. I don't know what it is, but I love them. What I don't like about them is their price tag. Kelley Blue Book has them valued at $14,000 to $17,000 private party. Add another $2,000 to $3,000 if you're purchasing from a dealer. So I got one for about 60 to 70% off. And obviously I have a lot of repair costs ahead of me, but I plan on doing everything in-house and by myself, so I'm still gonna be way below that margin. Now to give you guys a better walk around and show you everything that's broken, I need to get the Datsun shell out of the garage and the WRX in.
So the Datsun rolled out actually really easy. It was so easy and so light. I could push the car while it was on the ground and move it over. So it rolled out really easy. I didn't have to use any of my security stoppers in case we lost control and it started rolling into the street. So everything went really well, and now I'm going to pull the battery from my Jetta, put it in there, and then pull it in, and hopefully everything will be fine. WRX is in the garage, Datsun's in the driveway. Quick tip to anyone who is leaving a car out for storage in somewhere that is hot and has tons and tons of spiders and other insects. If you don't want them infesting your build, spray it with some sort of bug repellent all around the wheelbase, and it'll help prevent them from crawling up and infesting your build while you're not using it. So the car has obviously been in a front end collision. The rear is in really great shape. There's a bunch of paint nicks from, most likely from when the car was being transported, but the front end is pretty messed up. The frame, from what I've seen, is somewhat straight, or mostly straight, but the crinkle zones, the impact zones in the front here, they're both a little bit messed up, so those will have to be fixed. You can see the front bumper has suffered some indentation, and actually there's a bit of warping here from when it got pushed over the impact bar down here. So I'm actually gonna try to keep the front bumper because they're about 300 bucks and I can save that for other parts. Obviously the front hood, it is bent under here and it's crimped, and fixing that is just gonna be ridiculous. So we're getting a new hood. When the car was hitting the front, the headlights and all, the radiator support pushed this way, and the headlights pushed the fenders. So they got all warped and they've been pushed out here and here. And actually they're pushed out so far that they are touching the door line. So this fender is definitely being replaced. On the other side, so this fender, it was pushed up slightly, really slightly here, and bent back here, but it's also pushed back enough that it is closing up the door jambs on this side too. So I have a new fender for this one coming as well. I'm okay with body repair, but the fenders aren't that expensive and I would rather just get a new one and it actually look good. For the bumper repair, I know that, if I put some boiling water on this should pop out. And this indentation here should most likely sand down. But the only other thing is down here, there's a big chunk taken out of this piece, and this is attached to this. There's no way to take this off. It's completely molded in. So this will have to get sealed And then there's a bunch of thrashing at the bottom of the bumper here and a crack over there, all repairable. Hood, bumper, fence. So all the front body panels need to get redone, minus we're gonna do this one ourselves. The side, top, back is actually all perfectly fine besides the mirror that we're pointing at right now is totally gone. The side skirt here was popped off, but it should just pop back in. These are the paint scuffs I was talking about. It's all over the back. It's like polka dotted. So these will all have to get buffed off and cleaned. I tried scraping them with my fingernail, but they totally don't come off. So I'm hoping they're not underneath the paint and that they can just get buffed out. Maybe some paint thinner or some solution like that. The rims are stock, obviously, and not bashed up too bad. I actually think the back wheels are in perfect shape. Oh no, there's a nice nick there. All the wheels, I think, actually have nicks, especially the front ones. The front ones are pretty thrashed up. Yeah, here. And then the back ones, yeah, the back ones have some thrashing too. And so when this car came in on the trailer, it was up high and I could look underneath it, and it is just bone stock. I mean, completely stock. Actually looks really good under there. It's from Tennessee, so there's very, very little rust and rot. You know, my 2017 Jetta, the year after I bought it, 1 year after I bought it, I was living in Buffalo, New York, and there was rust under just surface rust, but underneath the entirety of the car. And this car just has nothing, which is awesome. The stock part is kind of sad, but kind of good. I was hoping that maybe we would have an upgraded exhaust system or some cool funky things under the hood, but there was nothing. The only thing I noticed is that the bolts in the front seat are scuffed, which most likely means he had some aftermarket seats in it. But I think that's the only thing he really had, because the air filter, which I'll show you guys in a second. Underneath the air filter is a K&N air filter. Besides that, everything else is stock. The brakes, the rotors, the wheels, the tires, everything. And like I said, that's good because, maybe the car wasn't driven as hard as it might have been with some mods, but kind of sad because I wanted something that was gonna have some, some goodies in it. Everybody does. Let's open up the hood. And you can see the kinking in the metal there. And there she is. So you can see that the radiator support, this is the radiator support here, this silver painted bar is completely pushed forward to the point it's touching the serpentine belt, the radiator hoses, this doohickey, and the coolant reservoir is completely tucked under here. And it's supposed to be, completely easy access. You can see the radiator support that goes up to here. It's completely kinked up there. And then the other side, it's completely kinked up right here. So the whole entire radiator support will have to get pulled out. The support comes down here, and this piece is welded into the top of the support. These aren't the bolts for it. This is for the hood latch. The hood latch is also messed up. But the support comes down here, goes here, and then there's a bar that goes up this side and a bar that goes up that side. And every single one of those bars is messed up and bent in some sort of way, so they're all gonna get replaced. Obviously the headlight's getting done. The grille is missing. The intake shroud, or what are those things called? Intake tube, intake flow. No, that's definitely not it. I feel like intake shroud would be the closest thing. I'll put the name of it up. Anyway, that's missing. Intake, actually, I think this is totally stock. There's just a K&N sticker on it, so maybe the filter is K&N, but this is all stock. I had to pull this hose out to start it, but this hose, let me see if I can get it out. So the upper radiator hose was actually pushed down here and it was wedged. You can see it's actually cut, but it was wedged up between the alternator pulley and the belt, and it got yanked in there, obviously ripped open, also ripped off the top radiator hose connect. So right here is totally it's cracked off. But yeah, I had to pull that up so I could start the car, or else it would scream. The belts are all frayed, most likely from rubbing on this thing and whatever else has been pushed up in there. The wiper reservoir fell off. The bolts down here, you can see behind here, it doesn't look like it was yanked off at all, like it broke. So I think it should be able to just bolt back up fine. There's actually still liquid in there, so I can clean my windshield. It's super dirty. What else? Oh, above the fenders, I was gonna talk about this before, but the hood was closed. There are these supports on both sides. On both sides? and I'm not sure if they're bent, but better safe than sorry. They were $10 each, so I also ordered those. These are the front impact bars. I know it looks bent right here, but it's actually not. This is what it looks like from factory. So I'm pretty sure this isn't bent at all, and this one's fine. This one looks like it's bent this way, just a tiny bit. But I think when I take all of this off, it might just be from the tension of the radiator support. And then if not, probably just gonna bash it out with a hammer because I don't wanna have to weld all that in. The motor runs. There is a service sticker in the top of the window for an oil change. And I called the dealership where it's from and I asked if there was any service records on it. And the guy I talked to said that there was no records of the engine having any of the engine maintenance that Subarus need. And anybody who knows about Subarus knows that they suffer from serious head gasket problems. And this one's at about 98,000 miles, so it's gonna need that head gasket ASAP. So I've ordered a head gasket kit. I also ordered a timing belt kit and a water pump because I'm gonna be doing all that at the same time. And while I have this entire front end off, it should be really easy to do the head gasket, the water pump, the timing belt, and all that stuff. The timing belt on these cars is right in the front, and the head gaskets are on the side here because it's boxer engine. Having all of that off in the front end will make that tune-up super easy. And yeah, let me show you guys the inside. It is super clean and made me very happy when I saw how clean the inside was, because some of these cars from auction can be really, really messed up. I mean, it's missing this shift knob, as you can see right now, but nothing else is gone. The seats are here, the steering wheel's there. Sometimes these cars from auction are just like totally ripped apart when the owners find out the insurance companies aren't paying for anything. So yeah, here's the inside. Seats are actually in pretty great shape. As I talked about before, the bolts in front here, they're all scuffed up. And actually this one isn't even in all the way. So I tried to put it in, they probably messed up the threads. But the bolts are all scuffed up, which means they had different seats in here, which is good because it means these seats weren't used. They're a little dirty from being in storage, but they should clean up perfectly nice. There's no wear anywhere. There's no rips, no tears. Also, no airbags deployed. So all the airbags are there, but they didn't come down from the top of the windows. They didn't come out of the steering wheel or over there, which is awesome because working with airbags is kind of scary. They're like miniature bombs. And if we look in here, all the plastic is really nice. It's not scuffed up anywhere. Whoever owned this car, they did take decent care of it, minus the fact that they didn't maintenance it when it was supposed to be maintenance. I checked the oil though, and it's totally clean. It's not murky, there's no coolant in it. So the head gaskets didn't blow. I actually had this fear that maybe he crashed it. It's at 98,000 miles, which is like prime head gasket blow in time. So I was scared that maybe his head gaskets blew and then was quoted at a ridiculous price and didn't have the money to do it. So he just went out and crashed his car and then left it with the insurance company to deal with the head gasket. That's what my worst nightmare was that the engine would be blown or the engine would have a head gasket failure, but it doesn't seem to have any of those, and I am super happy.
That's it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll be tearing down the WRX in the next video, so stay tuned for some demolition and subscribe if you want to see more. I'm Brad, and I'll see you guys in the next one.